everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I will note that 4 board members are present. Those that are excused are Karen Cordano, Chuck Merrihew, and Steve Swift. I will move to the first item on our agenda, which is our May 25th minutes, and entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Next up, our report from our secretary. Good morning, Joe.
Yes, good morning, Mayor and board members. All I have to report is good news. Since we last met, I believe the state legislature has adopted the additional Phase 3 funding, and it's awaiting the governor's signature.
Great news.
Good news. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Moving right along, we'll go next to our program manager report and welcome Chris to the microphone.
Morning. How's
Morning.
everybody?
Good.
Is this on? Yeah.
It is.
All right, good. All right, we'll run through quickly here with the upper right, or upper left as usual, about 87% on our change orders, so we're making great progress on those. We can see the end on that, so we can get those in and get those approved. Under tranche 1, I'm happy to report that, so you have today for approval a final payment for Huntington. That was for the architectural services related to Huntington, and that will conclude all the payments related to tranche 1 and allow us to get that final cost report in and get tranche 1 dialed down. Tranche 2, we're not too far behind. I've got a couple payments this month for Nottingham for the architectural services and Henniger for the controls work that was done there. And then that'll leave us with 5 final payments remaining related to Henniger with the GC, the architectural services, and for the CM services, all of which we anticipate making final payment on in July, and then leaving ourselves and Landon and Ryan, the compliance monitor, for final payments in August, and then that will conclude payments related to tranche 2. So that's what we anticipate anyway in terms of that. Final cost reports, as I said, we have 2 left related to tranche 2, which is for Clarion Elms, which the draft is assembled, just trying to resolve with bringing some resolution to a couple of the open issues related to Elms, as you can see on there. And then at Henniger, largely there, a couple punch list items that require some reinspection, finishing out the closeout documentation, and all the change orders are all resolved. It's just a matter of executing those for signature, which we're working our way through, and then receiving and approving the closeout documentation from the architect. And then we anticipate that the FCR would be submitted, predicated on those final payments, in July or August. So in good shape there. Under the critical issues, I think we've kind of covered those, just to keep plugging away at getting changes submitted to the state. So that's about it. Any questions?
Just one quick question. Dean, quick question. With Henniger, we had some problems with evening out, like temperature in rooms type of stuff. Has that stuff been worked out?
We're continuing to work on that with the electrical engineers on that.
Yeah, I think in concert with Day Automation and the engineers, yep.
I just want to make sure we don't close out everything and don't have those things resolved.
Yeah, no, it's on the list. It's some of that stuff that we're working through over there on that.
Thank you.
So, yep. Other questions?
Any other questions for Chris?
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the report. I want to welcome Steve to the meeting. Good morning, Steve.
Thank you. Good morning.
Acknowledge his presence. And we will move next to our financial statement. And welcome Donna up to the mic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We got the 1-pager this month,
Okay.
and this is for April. So some of our highlights for the month, the vendor payments that were approved in April didn't show up in the April statement, so they will be reflected in May. We did have some investment earnings. We had National Grid incentive rebates came in this month, and we ended the month with $40.2 million in cash. The inflows for the current month shows the interest earnings of $19,525, and the National Grid incentive rebates $156,000, $636, for a total for this month of $176,000. Our year-to-date, we did have, that were reported in prior months, was the state aid intercept, the federal subsidy that came in. We had interest earnings up to $167,000 for this year anyway. Our claim settlement and our total national grid incentives for this year is $273,000. So that's kind of nice. We do expect more to come. And so our total projected for this fiscal year, which we got 2 months left. Our state aid is the same. We took the state aid in March, and that's 34.1. And then we are expecting another subsidy payment to come in, so that's why that number's at $724,000 for the subsidy. Our interest earnings, we're expecting about $193,000. The Ed Smith claim, of course, is static, and currently our national grid rebates are at $273. So we're expecting 35.6 projected for fiscal year 23. The cash outflows, there was no activity showing on the statement for the month of April. As I said, those payments will show up in May, and the year-to-date column does reflect the activity for July through April. And it includes the construction and incidental payments, debt service payments, federal subsidy transfer to the district totaling $14.7 million. Our projected column does show the projected cash outflows for all of 23 up to June 30. So we're expecting our construction and incidental payments to be about $8.7 million. Our debt service payments are going to be about $33.6. And the QSCB subsidy that will come in will be transferred to the district for $724,000. So compared to the March statement, our cash did increase by the $176,000, leaving us with $40.2 million and $96 million in fund balance. So at the bottom, our nice little colorful graph shows us that our bar graph shows the actual inflows in blue of 35.2, and the projected inflows of 390,000 in orange. The actual cash outflows of 14.7 million, and in the blue, and the projected cash outflows of 28.3 million in the orange. So does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for
Nope.
Donna?
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks. All right, moving right along. It looks like we may have just one resolution, so I'll turn it back over to Joe.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have resolution number 6, which would pay our monthly invoices for May.
All right, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any other business to come before the board? I'd just like to acknowledge a couple things. One, today is the last day of school, so congratulations to all of our students, our teachers, administrators. Congratulations to our superintendent for surviving his first year in the position, and as far as we know, ready for more next year. So great job, Tony, to you and your team, and congratulations to our graduates. We have a big graduation weekend coming up, starting tonight with ITC, so looking forward to that as well. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
You speak up quick there.
Thanks, everybody.